Um,
The world needs elite operators. Heroes to protect the innocent. Specialists to fight terror. The moment is now. Join Rainbow.
The day is finally here. And the time The mission
Pero me fue al
starts
baño.
now.
Vamos a ver qué es el nuevo Rainbow.
Of your favorite content creators have assembled here in Atlanta to usher in an explosive new era of Siege. Folks, this is the Siege X Showcase. We'll be starting off showing those content creators. First up was Team Skittles.
Yo quería estar ahí,
Team
güey.
Needy Marley will join next. And get loud for your favorite content creators.
We got a lot of familiar
No los
faces on that
conozco.
roster alone, who we even previously saw from Team Skittles, so I'm excited to see what we got.
No
for
conozco esos
the
vatos.
rest of these teams.
There are a lot of Brazilian content creators that you might be familiar with. It's Team Raza up next.
Got Team Brazil mixing with a little bit from all around.
Entonces está de las Chivas, güey. Rainbow de las Chivas.
Team Pestely's going to join them next, walking out of the large X. I'm going to be honest, I know there's a lot of you here. You got to be louder than that. Come on.
You know, we just
That's better.
We just talked about Team Brazil. Now we got Team A and Z coming through.
There's a lot of players that will be coming out, 48 in total. Some familiar faces, some newer to our scene, but I mean, hey, it's a new era for our game. Team Spoit is up next.
You know, we've talked about Spoit a lot, but there's some phenomenal controller players coming from that Xbox scene here.
That controller player, by the way, there's a bunch of them on Stable Ronaldo, the next team walking out.
You know, I saw Kiki warming up. She's looking strong, but they also have Frankie there, Diamond 1.
Some familiar faces that you might recognize of this group walking out. The next is Team Lacey.
Very big names coming alive right there as we see one of our own right there with Uzi. That's my boy.
Uzi should be a familiar face for those of you that follow along online. And Team Pengu, a team of names that you've seen and heard before, but I think that's the controller player.
¿Ya me pueden mostrar el
I
juego?
think
Por
you're
favor.
right. I don't see Pengu just yet.
I don't see Pengu. I used to work with him. You used to play against him. My name's Intero. I'm joined by Laxing. We've been long-standing members of this community, and we are happy to welcome you in to what might be the most exciting thing we've ever done in Siege. On the left side of your screen, this side, because we're mirrored, you're going to see what we're getting up to today. We're going to be starting off with a new game mode. You heard it here. Not just Siege, but something brand new. After that, we're going to talk
Nuevo modo de
about
juego.
updates to the core of Siege, the game that we know and love and have spent much of the last 10 years playing. And then how about we finish off by showing those changes in action in Siege X in a 5v5 show match.
Honestly, Parker, I am so excited, to say the least. I don't know which one I'm more excited for. There's so much that we are going to be showing and exploring. And again, I am just absolutely thrilled to be here with you.
We've got to run a tight ship, so both of us are talkers, so we're going to have to be a little bit brief. But before we get into the action, I'm going to need your help. Do me a favor. Connect your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, because later on in the day, we'll be announcing a very special drop for everybody that's watching through either this stream or one of our partnered streams. But before we unveil what it is, make sure your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts are linked together. I, as well, am very excited.
I think that's the only way to put the emphasis on the X.
Yeah. It's going to be a quick day today. It's going to fly by like no tomorrow. And there's a lot to unveil. Of course, a new game mode is something that will surprise people. I think that the updates to the game are going to be pretty spectacular as well. But enough from us. How about we send it to two of the greatest minds at Ubisoft who have helped make Siege X possible, Alex and Joshua.
First of all, let's hear for Ash. I mean Patricia, but it's amazing to have the voice of Ash here today with us. Welcome to the showcase. My name is Alex Karpazis, creative director of Siege, and today is the day we finally unveil SiegeX.
And I'm Joshua Mills, game director. After 3 years of work, the wait is over. And we're taking the core Siege experience to the next level.
A ver, ¿qué nos
We
van a
have
traer?
a ton of details to share with you about how Siege is evolving with exciting updates like modernized maps, an audio overhaul, advanced rappel, and much, much more. In a few minutes, you will see live gameplay of those changes. But before that, we have a very first SiegeX trailer to share with you. This is the new era of Siege.
Nuevo modo, 6 contra 6, mapa exclusivo. Ataque contra defensores. Ah, mira. Eso no se podía hacer, ¿no? Órale. Nuevas animaciones. Acceso a la beta.
That's a lot to take in. That's why, over the next few hours, we'll cover all of it. We have 48 content creators around us getting set up right now with 4 live matches. And if you're quick with the math, then you've noticed that something quite doesn't add up. That's because they will be playing our brand new 6 versus 6 game mode, the first permanent new game mode since the launch of Siege. We've taken the strategy, teamwork, high-stakes gameplay that make Rainbow Six Siege so special and built a completely new game mode that's designed to push the limits of what Siege can be. Get ready for strategic plays, unexpected twists, and all-out action. This is Dual Front.
Okay.
Dual Front is the culmination of years of hard work by our incredibly dedicated and talented team. They explored many different avenues and experimented with expanding the very core of Siege. In the end, the process came down to asking ourselves a very simple question. What if? What if we could expand the size of squads and have attackers and defenders work together? What if we had one persistent round to settle the outcome of a match with less downtime? What if we could expand the narrative and universe in-game seasonally? What if? One of the answers to these questions was to design a brand new, ever-evolving map where the action takes place. Welcome to District.
Distrito. Captura de las bases enemigo. Frontera A. Ok, nuevo mapa. Y me imagino con nuevo modo. Porque son capturas, ¿no? Frontera B.
District is a new map created exclusively for Dual Front and built to change with ongoing updates. This map is uniquely designed to support the exciting gameplay of Dual Front and create new possibilities we've never seen before in Siege. Let's break it down. 2 symmetrical fronts, each featuring 3 sectors, set up the main framework of the map. Teams must capture one front while simultaneously defending the other as they work their way deeper and deeper into enemy territory. The ultimate goal? Reach the final sector and destroy the prototype in the enemy's HQ.
Es como
The map's layout balances open areas and
destruir,
strategic choke points, demanding coordination and adaptability.
con Call of Duty
When I say
destruir
open
bombas.
areas, this also includes outside. Players will now be able to move between indoor and outdoor spaces, extending their
mapa está muy
defenses
grande, ¿eh?
beyond the walls of the building and setting up for some devastating ambushes. So if you don't drone, it's time to start. If the enemy does catch you off guard and eliminates you, you will be able to return to the fight as your currently selected operator or select a different operator for a tactical adjustment. Success hinges on balancing offense, defense, and team composition while seizing every opportunity to lead your team to victory. Which brings us to the neutral sector, a central area where a time-limited assignment will offer you the chance to shift the momentum of battle. Here's a preview of our first seasonal assignment.
Intel has zeroed in on an available
Graba el
assignment in the
rehén.
neutral sector. The enemy has started the extraction. Move to intercept.
Objetivos dinámicos.
Op 4 is progressing with the assignment. Move to resecure. Well
O sea,
done.
que tienes que recuperar tu compañero.
Excellent work. You've completed the assignment.
The neutral sector is a high-stakes conflict zone where bold plays lead to game-changing rewards. Players can tackle the time-limited assignment that will grant valuable bonuses. It's important to keep in mind that taking this risk means leaving key positions open, as every operator participating in the assignment is one less operator in your attack or defense frontline. The race to secure these objectives is intense, and success in the neutral sector can tip the scales of victory, making it a battleground where split-second decisions and daring strategies can define the match. With each new season, players can expect a new assignment in Dual Front. This means new narrative, gameplay, and neutral sector map updates.
Dual Front was built from the ground up to use the strengths of Siege, while adding new twists. If you're new to Siege, this is a perfect game mode to play. Everyone is on a level playing field with a single new map to learn. There's also a limited operator pool, allowing players to focus on a smaller roster. We will be changing the operators in this pool twice a season, so that a new exciting meta is just around the corner. Finally, we all know that every life is a lesson. Respawn is an important part of this mode, allowing players to experiment and learn through play. You can join the closed beta later today on PC and current-gen consoles.
La beta ya disponible ya para PC y consolas. A ver qué es traer este nuevo modo.
Your feedback will help us release the best experience for Siegex.
Now that you know what Dual Front is, it's time to see it in action. Let's kick it over.
Vamos a ver.
Let's kick it over to our
Los
legendary
cosplays.
casters and see your favorite creators exploring and discovering all Dual Front has to offer right now.
Thank you so very much. The new permanent game mode that we were sworn to secrecy on, we couldn't talk about it. They said, you're not allowed to. And we said, okay, you know what? I want to hear how loud you can get. Now, remember when I said that there would be a surprise later on? Joshua just told you straight up, you can play Dual Front today. All you need to do is connect your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, and then watch about 30 minutes either on this stream or on one of the partnered streams, and you will get a Twitch drop of a beta code to try Dual Front. Servers go live when we wrap up here, so in just a couple hours. And it'll be available on PC and current-gen consoles. Kind of sucks for the people in the audience that you don't get to play, huh? Yeah, well, that's okay.
You know,
Don't boo me. You're excited. Hey, hey, hey. But how excited are you for Dual Front? How excited are you for that, what looked like a weapon inspection? They got very, very loud.
I mean, respectfully so. You know, we finally now can inspect it. But, I mean, for Dual Front specifically, I did get to try it. And I'm jealous that they get to play it now, and I got to sit here and talk about it because I truly had so much fun within that time frame that I was able to play.
Ya
I
me
didn't get to
pueden
play.
usar el gameplay, por
Still
favor.
don't know what it's like.
I have
but
no idea.
Truthfully, it's a wonderful game mode.
Would you say you were excited?
I was more than excited.
Wonderful. We've got 48 content creators
Como
here
Twitter, ¿no?
to take us through Dual Front, and in just a moment, we'll be getting into the game. And honestly, because I haven't played it, am just as eager to see it in action as all of you are. We'll be going through how the actual objectives progress. How does that neutral sector actually work? What are the rewards that they get? And how does the matchup ebb and flow? And the one thing that I am most particularly looking forward to is you and I first started playing Siege in year one. We have got to see this game grow from the very beginning. And if you go back and you look at Siege as a regular game,
Blah,
the way that it was
blah,
played
blah,
back
blah,
in
blah,
2016
blah, blah,
is very different from the way it's played now. I have no doubt that Dual Front is going to function the same way. Now, in just a couple seconds, we'll intro our very first set of teams, and it will be fascinating to see how they tackle our newest permanent game mode in Siegeax. What are your expectations before we get into the match?
To be honest,
Ya
I don't,
quiero ver el
there's no expectations
gameplay,
that can be met,
cabrón.
truthfully, because this is a new game mode. This is an undeveloped area where people are going to be figuring out. We're going to be understanding what it's going to look like, what we can see.
Team Lacey and Team Stable Ronaldo will be the first set of teams. We are in the operator selection phase, seconds out from the first look at Dual Front. Operators are locked in. Are you ready for the next era of Siege? Folks, let's get underway with our first
Nuevas
matchup
animaciones.
of Dual Front.
So this is already super unique. You know, when you start, you have the 6 operators that you are
Ay,
choosing
vato,
from. I
bájale
believe
tu
if I'm
pinche
not wrong, you
micrófono.
will always be at the front, so you can always feel like you are the leader in this scenario.
No me eches el
leading your
jugador
team.
que tiene el
But again,
micrófono bien
what's
alto,
so
qué
unique
horrible.
about this is when you think about Siege as a whole, it's always been 5v5. Now you are adding that key element of bringing a 6th player onto that squad, which allows so many different ways to approach Siege and how you want to play it. And again, another big thing is you can mesh
Son
attackers
6 contra
with
6, ¿no?
defenders.
Now, while you had some hands-on experience, and you are a former pro player and a former world champion, it's not your expertise that we're going to lean on here, Gabe. We have brought up both Alex and Josh from the keynote to help us understand the way that this works. Gentlemen, first things first. What a day.
¿No te puedes parar tus compañeros?
I think you were prepared for the audience to get loud, but would you say you were a little caught off guard with the enthusiasm that we're seeing?
I mean, we've been waiting for this moment for 3 years now, and we're still not prepared for it. This is really exciting. The teams pour their heart and soul into this, and now we get to see it live in action.
I mean, it's always a reaction, right? You hear the people.
Le hice una Halo, el cabrón. No me acuerdo mi contraseña ni. Jajaja, buenas, Cana, Misael.
Now, the way that you conceptualize this game mode being played,
Yo tampoco me
might differ from
acuerdo,
what we see
pero.
today. But is it
Yo
fair
tengo
to
de
say,
Rosalba en la
Alex,
compu,
that
perdón.
you're expecting players to literally problem solve as it goes along, and that there isn't really a defined correct way to play based on when you built the game?
I mean, we've been playtesting this for over a year now, and we're still learning new things, new combinations of operators. This is the first time we're taking attackers and defenders
Ay,
together
cabrón.
on the same team, but we're keeping that attack and defend philosophy alive, where you have one lane, one front to push, and one front to defend. So,
Mission
yeah, it's all
fuera.
new.
Well, and as I was saying, you know, the key element of adding a sixth player to that squad, I mean,
Pero antes de que
Siege
fuera
the past
tenía su
10
madre.
years has been 5. I mean, what was the decision to bring that extra element of surprise and putting a sixth member onto that roster?
Well, one of the big goals we had with Dual Front is to actually make Siege more approachable. So, and one of the ways of doing that is to kind of lower that social
¿Quién
threat,
queda?
having the, if you die in a 5
respawn. Puede ser respawn.
big detriment to your team. So, in 6v6, you actually get to carry that weight a little bit more evenly. Additionally, obviously, the respawn is going to help
Para el
you
drop,
feel more confident and learn over time. But that's definitely a driving force.
Ahora después se respawn, ya no
I just want to
te
touch on something here. and I
pena,
don't mean to
ya no te
interrupt you,
peleanizas para la
but
siguiente
we've got our
partida.
first objective at play. Would one of you like to take us through what exactly is happening in the game right now?
Yeah,
So,
the
hay dos
attacking team has
objetivos en el
actually
mapa.
Planted the diffuser, and now we have actual segments to the diffuser timer. So if the defending team comes in and deactivates it, it might save a bit of the progress that they achieved there. And this is one of 3 objectives that they have to secure now.
That would explain why we have the 3 segments on the diffuser.
That's right.
So if you stop it, it'll go
¿Tres
back to the
segmentos?
last
¿O cómo?
tick, if we want to call it that.
That's right.
And then you basically paused it. So it functions very similarly to regular Siege in the sense that you have to control the objective, you have to get that diffuser planted.
And I love specifically that you guys talk about, you know, regardless of this being a brand new game mode, you guys are still keeping that core value of what Siege has always been in terms of that tactical prowess and what you can do within Siege. And I think being able
por el
to
otro?
bring
Yeah.
attackers with defenders can really set up that strategical stand
Mhm.
even more in depth than what we've currently seen throughout Siege.
I mean, that's the magic of it. As when you're playing this, you have to go on the attack. You get the attack, and then you got to go into the defense within the same lane. So it varies up what you're able to do there. Like bringing a Nomad on attack. Obviously, we've done that 1,000 times, but putting her into the defense and making for the post plant, it's all about that.
It's almost like they're fighting on dual fronts.
And now we see that the other team has planted the diffuser as well. So both are active at the same time. Teams have to recoup, regroup, and understand how they can recapture the site now that the plant's gone down.
The red team succeeded, it looks like, in their very first capture. So now what happens? Oh. Is Uzi going to get it?
Yeah.
They've already lost 1 tick, as you talked about.
Yep.
And it'll roll back. So like that progress they earned, they fought for, they get to keep, but they
El
didn't get
Halo
away
le
from
está
the next
haciendo,
sector of the
cabrón.
actual objective, so that's lost.
And what I'm seeing now with the front A team, they have that first one secured. Now that timer is going. So essentially, does that now force them to now play the defense, wait for that next sector to open up,
Qué cabrón.
and then make that transition with that rotate?
Yeah, that beat there is actually leading into essentially a prep phase for that new sector. So our attackers in that lane are going into prep, using their drones, looking forward, or they could rotate in through the neutral sector over to defense and help shore up your own defense.
Qué cabrón, eh.
Because you've obviously had some time playing through it. What is your ideal lineup that you've ran the most, that you've experimented with the absolute most, whether that's on the defensive side or the attacking side?
They're bouncing. They're just very excited to play the game.
Sí, claro.
It's amazing running Nomad on defense.
I like it.
You never experienced it before, and just doing that is amazing.
I'm about to say, you'll never hear anything coming from me in terms of Nomad with how much I love Nomad. I think Parker knows that as much as well. I played flank watch aggressively, so the fact that you can use those air jabs on defense to get those sound cues, to get that quick reaction, to net one of those eliminations, I mean, Nomad.
Solo que dura mucho, ¿no?
I mean, Gabe, when you played professionally, if there was a spot on a map to be as far away from the action as possible, you were there.
Absolutely. So you would have
You loved
110% find me at that
Al
neutral
momento, banda,
sector, where
perdónenme.
I am not going to be in the thick of it, but I am going to be trying to lurk my way through and see what is open and what isn't.
Now, one thing that you mentioned while talking about the game was that you're going to be swapping up the operators twice a season. Now, what's the thought process behind which operators you bring in, which operators you bring out, and will it be a full-scale swap? Are we talking every operator is gone, or are you just going to bring in a couple and remove maybe some particularly strong or weak ops?
Yeah, so one of the big things is we want to make sure that the Pathfinders that are earned through our newcomer challenges are going to be available at all times. Again, like you always want to be able to have some of your ops to be able to play, but outside that, we're going to be almost doing kind of like a crafted meta or ideas around that. Maybe we put a lot of hard breach up, maybe we put a lot of trap, or maybe remove both. and see what happens now. Like, what can you do if you don't have electricity available to you? What can you do if you don't have, like, you know, a lot of area denial and so on and so forth?
So I don't think this was mentioned by you guys, but what I am noticing is I'm looking at the characters, the utility. It's regenerating.
Yeah, this is a way that we can actually balance the operators over a long period of time. We're talking rounds are lasting about 15, 20 minutes. So you can actually stack quite a bit of utility if you don't have this new system, and the team worked really hard on that.
Okay, we'll follow up with that. So are you saying that Capcan can essentially lay down 6, 7 traps at a time?
I'm gonna take that one. So one of the things about the regenerative gadgets is that you can deploy based on the max that's been determined for dual front. So some of those values may differ from the core Siege experience, but additionally, whatever your last place gadget was, if you place a new one, it'll destroy that one and then move forward, just to make sure things are in line.
Perfect.
You're telling me I can't put down 20 Capcan traps and just sabotage the whole
Yeah,
map?
I mean, if we rewind time a couple years ago, you could have, and let me be honest, like, you know, it became an HR problem. So
I was actually, I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking, I was like, what if someone just brings Mira and just lays down a lot of her windows and then immediately transitions off of that to a different operator and then uses them?
I'm thinking the Maestro. You just swap evil eye cams over and over and over again. You've got unlimited laser beams.
We already thought of that. So if you're repicking your operator, the operator you were previously, all their gadgets disappear. And then you're jumping back in with a new operator to do a new strategy.
additionally, you can actually see as operators are being swapped out and respawning, they go back to being unknown because we don't know who's coming up in that lineup again. So that's another thing you'll have to adapt to as you're on the field.
I'm not a developer. I don't balance this game. I can only imagine how tricky it has been to find a way to make everything work. But before we get there, one of the beautiful things about having all these content creators in person is that we get to hear from them live in action. Patricia has an interview ready for us down on the stage.
Thank you, guys. I am here with Skittles. How you doing?
Doing great.
Skittles, I would love to get your first impressions of Siege X. How are you feeling about it right now?
I'm absorbing everything. This is a completely new game. We got a big map, more operators. Like it's insane. I'm just trying to take everything in right now, basically.
Yeah. I can imagine. Are there any particular things that you're focusing on or interested in seeing in terms of the new updates?
I'm just really excited about the gun inspection. After 10 years, we finally got that, and oh my God, all the skins we have now, it's so worth it. It's so cool.
Very cool. Well, I won't take too much of your time, get you back to playing. Thank you so much.
Skittles does a lot of YouTube work, and I know that the weapon inspect element will be excellent for thumbnails, so that will make it a lot easier for content creators to advertise their stuff. Let's dive into the next matchup that's happening at the same time, and it's a little bit of the old versus the present, one could say. A former two-time world champion of Pengu versus a current major champion of Spoit, as it's Team Pengu versus Team Spoit. And there's a competitive mindset between these two teams that is, maybe I would say, unlike a lot of the other matchups we'll have today.
I mean, how competitive can it be? I mean, Spoit's beating up on a retired old man of Pengu. Like, give him a break. Let him breathe a little bit.
I'm fascinated at the way that this mode is going to be approached, right? Because Siege casts such a wide net. There are people who are going to play it on PC. There are people who are going to play it on console. There are people who are going to play it in casual, people who only play ranked. And then you've got people who are playing on high-end gaming PCs, and people who are just sitting at home, playing on their couch, listening to music, playing casually with some friends. And when you look at a mode like Dual Front, do you think it's the type of game mode that can catch all of those players and provide a compelling experience for each one?
Yeah, when we were talking about Dual Front, first of all, Siege is challenging. That's in our DNA. We'll never change that. But Dual Front makes it more accessible. You can respawn, you can repick your operators. You have more players on the table, so you can try out new things. So all of this adds up to a game mode that, honestly, everybody's at the same level, on the ground floor, and they're able to jump in and have immediate impact.
So I was going to follow up with, I mean, we obviously talk about the casual base and me coming from that competitive background. I absolutely do love the approach here, especially as we do know, Siege is a very complex game, but that's what makes it so unique, so fun when you can actually learn it. But what I really like about District specifically is it's symmetrical. It does really allow you to learn from one end to the other of just the basic functionalities of how Siege is played, whether you're playing horizontal, whether you're playing vertically, so you're not getting confused. And for a new player, that you can come in and be like, okay, this is what Siege is like. So then you bring that into the other maps. And then I did also see not every single operator is able to be played, and I think that also is huge because, as we know, Siege has a lot of operators and continuing to grow as the game continues to go further on. So I do genuinely think this is a great approach for not only a competitive standpoint, but most importantly also
I'm doing it. Ready? Come here.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to see the way that it shakes out. Have you two noticed anything that's happening at this current point in time that has caught your eye that you maybe weren't expecting at the tests you've done over the last year or so?
Well, I mean, I saw someone do a breach I literally have never seen someone do, like in all our playtests, breaching in onto the stairs of the second sector. Like, that side of the site, like, I don't usually see people like pushing through there. They usually push from top floor or walk up the stairs, but never breach the wall and jump right into the stairs. So that's kind of the magic of the map, right? So.
Well, we've got another interview ready from TikTok to Twitch, and now here in Atlanta, we've got Titanium Rolo down on the stage with Patricia.
Thanks, guys. You've got it solid. I am here now with Titanium Rolo. How you doing today, Rolo?
I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful, especially now that I'm with you here. I'm already like fast friends. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the neutral zone in the middle of the map?
So I think the neutral zone is actually really crucial, and I think that from the times that we've played it, we've not focused on it enough. There's so much focus on either attacking a base or defending a base, but actually so many people go to the neutral zone that if you manage to get control of it, then you can kind of completely control the flow of the map, and I think it's going to be way more crucial than we've given credit for it. And I'm also hoping, since I like Easter eggs, I'll find a couple of Easter eggs around there too.
I wish so many Easter eggs for you. Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to playing. My pleasure.
Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, the Easter eggs that are hidden in all of the maps, by the way, are we going to see any in Dual Front? Do you even want to give that away?
Definitely first jump into the beta, check it out yourself, find them, because we have hidden some stuff around the map.
Right. And for a reminder for those of you, we're going to say this a lot. I apologize if I sound like a broken record. But the thing is that the more I remind you that maybe you might actually be able to get into the game yourself, we are doing beta code access for Dual Front that is on right now. Once we are done with the showcase, you will be able to play Dual Front, providing you link your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, and then watch either this stream or one of our partnered streams. You will get the code after about a half hour or so, and you can start playing this game mode later today. I don't want to know what he's... Oh.
Jeez. So as a status update in the match, right now, both teams are trying to capture the second sector. And actually, I think Beta team just lost theirs. But there's an assignment that's coming into the map. That's the neutral zone. We'll have a new objective that everybody has to jump into.
And we have to grab a hostage. So while up to this point, it's been like the typical quote-unquote siege where you have to get the case down, now we're going back to the old ways of the hostage being involved.
Yeah, and not only just that, but the hostage is Dokebi, because we lost her at the end of the Assault on Hereford event. So this is where that narrative starts coming in when we talk about seasonal update that way.
I want to say, so when you grab the hostage here, if I'm not mistaken, you have to bring it to the other side, the enemy side. So what Anne is already doing this wrong. She brought it to her, I believe, thinking that they are going to get that extraction, but they actually need to bring it to the opposite side and make it far more challenging than just as simple as, let's just bring it back to ours.
Yeah, exactly. It used to, like, you can see as soon as it got, the hostage got picked up there, the icon shows up to show you where the extraction point is for you, and the helicopters are coming in the next 30 seconds. And that, oh man, like, again, we're talking about audio and all everything, hearing helicopters come in during a siege match, oh, it gets your heart pumping.
Well, I want to say,
don't board it though.
I want to say, me and you actually went through this moment together when we were testing this out the other day, and it is, when you were talking about the heart stumping, and especially like, let's acknowledge you can play outside now. Like, that is a huge thing that needs to be acknowledged. You don't have a timer letting you know you're going to be shown. I mean, again, these operators, that is just evolving a meta right there. All the shields you're seeing being
castling off a door outside? What am I watching?
Exactly. But no, like I was saying, back to that, it is very intense when you have to run to the enemy side with this, trying to get that extraction up while they're up and coming, spawning, holding those positions from outside, waiting for an ambush that you're potentially running into. You were actually doing a very good job at leading that. You were like, all right, Lax, I need you to get in front of me. I need you to clear this. I need you to clear that. And we did end up doing it successfully.
Yeah, honestly, like, regardless if we talk about the match being, like, the game of being approachable, we get real competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned that Dokkaebi is the one to grab here because of the actual lore of the game. Now, there are a lot of people here at this event dressed up in cosplay, and lore in Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, give them some applause. They work hard. The lore in Rainbow Six Siege has steadily increased to the point now where, you know, when I first started playing, and he first started playing, there was basically none. Will lore play a part in Dual Front, and will the events of future seasons find their way into this game mode?
So that's actually what we're trying to do with Dual Front. Bring some of the story into the game proper so that you get to experience the story itself. And so every single season, we'll be weaving in the lore of Siege into the updates that you see in Dual Front.
Now, when a team does successfully extract the hostage, what benefit does that give the team?
Oh, they're at the wrong... Oh,
yeah,
no.
they both just did the exact same thing.
Do they throw Dokkaebi into the net?
Well, they got
Is
to
that
take
what
it
they're
to the right
supposed to
extraction
do?
point.
I'm not...
But whenever they do end up getting it to the right, getting hostage to the right extraction point, and then having her airlifted out, you actually gain 2 sectors of the current objective or the next objective that you're going on. So if you have 1 sector left on, say, sector 2, it'll click forward on 2.
Okay, and so that won't, so like for example, on Bravo's side, they already have 2 of those sectors, or not sectors captured, but they have, you know, halfway through.
Actually, yeah, on either side of the match right now, whoever secures the assignment will win.
Oh.
But like, they just have to get them to the right extraction zone, and there's only 20 seconds left to get it done.
And what happens if you don't complete this task? Then it just goes.
They figured it
Sorry,
out.
I'm too excited now.
And so this is actually an air tap, and they win. So that's the thing. You can either play for the neutral sector, or you can keep on pushing in one of the fronts and end the game as well.
Like all things Siege, you have multiple ways to pull off.
That's right.
A win. We've got more. We got more games going, by the way. So this one is finished, but next one up, we're going worldwide. Raza versus Pestily. Now, Team Raza have some pretty formidable players on them. And I wonder how they'll be able to tackle Dual Front. We saw a more objective focus in that Pengu versus Spoit matchup than in the first. And again, it's going to come down to the way that teams tackle these objectives. Do you go for kills? Do you fight for each of the sections of the map? Or do you battle, as we just saw, in that neutral zone nonstop? And for the Spoit and Pengu matchup, the neutral zone was the way to go. They ended up winning because of it.
But again, that's the beauty of this being a new game mode, is there isn't a right or wrong way to play this. You can play it what you see fit, what you want to do. You make those tactical adjustments of whether you're rotating players or seizing a moment, seizing an opportunity, and then even collapsing and falling back if necessary. So again, we are going through and through to be seeing any way possible and played, because there is no developed meta just yet that maybe you guys are hiding that you're going to keep for yourselves and maybe run into you guys in one of these matches and quickly realize, okay, this is what we need to do.
Whatever meta we've developed, it's going out the window as soon as players get into the beta, because players just learn the game faster than anyone else.
Puta madre, ¿por qué no me avisas?
So evolve so quickly, we won't even recognize
Que bueno, estaba diciendo que sí,
Well, this game is finished, so let's hear what
eso es
Pengu's
nuevo.
thoughts on Dual Front are.
I am over here with the wonderful Pengu, everybody.
La pila del...
Thanks so much for joining us today. How you feeling?
Excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit nervous, and I came into it. I went 0-3, got no kills in the beginning. I was like, oh, chalk it. But then the teamwork started happening, and next to me started making some calls, and it clicked. We got the W.
Estaba diciendo
Lovely.
que eso es nuevo.
I'm sort of curious,
Que
what
son
do you
nuevas
think about
animaciones y
mixing
todo.
attackers and defenders? How's that feeling?
Que no creo
I
que
love it because it creates
se
a
va a
bit
ver
more
en Siege
flexibility
2.
before. Obviously, Siege has been about soft destruction, hard
Porque
destruction. Now you have stuff like
está
capping
diciendo,
traps,
ojalá le hubieran
defending,
puesto un
mute
nuevo motor
jammers.
gráfico, pero
For example, Priest and I
creo
start
que
to defend
es
the bottom
muy
side, he's
difícil
playing
que
castle,
lo
I'm
hagan.
playing mute, we're locking them out of the map essentially. And then if we join them on the attack, we can play more aggressive operators like the Grim, for example.
Amazing. Have you found any OP combos?
Pensé andándome callado,
I can't talk
jajajaja.
about that because, like, what if people they copy it and they beat us, you know? So no, can't leak strats right now.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna let you get back to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patricia. You can take Pengu out of the game, and his former team did, but you can't take the player. I gotta get my digs in. But you can't take the player out of the actual match. He's not even giving away secrets in a show match. Like, come on.
Saving strats for SI.
Yeah, exactly. He's saving strats for the next match. Team Raza versus Team Pestily is up next. A reminder about those drops. I mentioned that we have partnered streamers. Everybody here is streaming as well. And we've got streamers at home that are also co-streaming this. Tune in and get to enjoy the action. I know that you want to hear
Pero
us,
esto
but
será
you've
una
also got
actualización del
other
juego o
people
es
to tune
aparte.
in.
No, sí es una actualización del juego.
Now,
Es una gran
That
actualización del
matchup
juego.
between Spoid and Pengu went by pretty quickly. How does that match up with your expectations of a typical game?
Que de hecho dijeron que después de esto
One of the interesting things about the neutral sector
iban a dar
assignment
drops
is it randomly
para
triggers
ya sea
in the middle
ir
of the
al
match.
irlo, verlos
Between, I think
directamente
it's like 10
o yo
minutes
puedes
and
ganar el
15
drop
minutes.
ahorita en
Is
mi
that right?
stream
It's like first 5
y
in.
lo pueden
Yeah.
canjear
after
para
5 it can
jugar la
happen at
beta
any time.
So
de esto
they
que
already were
hoy ya
pretty
está
advanced
disponible
in
nada
the
más que
match, and then it did
si ya
end.
te dan
So
el
that's
drop
about
pues
the
ya
time that
te
you can expect. 15 to 20
te dan el drop,
minutes is the
bueno,
average
Isabel,
game
buena.
length, and then you can
Quizás
jump
sí me
to
lo
the
den a
next
mí,
one
a ver,
right
déjenme
away.
ver.
So you get a lot in a little package.
Hold on a second, gentlemen. I'm seeing something here on your screen. Does your outfit show up on the loading screen before you get into Dual Front?
Absolutely. You got to flex whatever you got.
I think it's called skinnergizing. Raza, that's your own teammate.
Well, he's got to take off the shades. I think he's a little discombobulated.
He can't see right now. He's too cool. Too cool for school. That's something that we haven't really seen a lot of, right? Like, there's always been chatter online about, oh, like the player cards before the match should show my skins. In Dual Front, you've now made it so that when you load
Sí,
into
ya
a
me lo
game,
dieron.
your outfit and your gun skin are shown off.
So I also did notice when you first initially start out, you aren't just able to quickly run in to a different sector. You are blocked off right there. Is that essentially similar to a prep phase, or?
That's exactly the intent there, is that it gives time for those in the defending lane to actually do their setup and get ready. It gives time for the intel to be gathered by the attackers. I'll let this be known that the neutral sector is always neutral. So if you want to frag it out as soon as you start, you can go and, do it there.
That's interesting. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that love
ya
to
me lo
say
dieron a
that,
mí.
that just want to get straight into the thick of it.
And just like regular Siege, or core Siege, if I can call it that, destruction is a huge part of this. You talked about it as well. But we just got to see it firsthand. A lot of these teams are kind of treating this like team deathmatch. Beautiful is that? That's the rappel, by the way, that was shown, that you can now swing around corners.
Amazing.
The very first time in our very first match that we just saw, the crowd went wild. I don't know if you heard that, but no, destruction, it plays a huge part. I mean, a lot of these teams, again, are treating it like a team deathmatch.
A mí también ya me la
But
dieron
here,
en la
you
fiesta.
can reshape the map
Entonces ya
to
ahorita
your
puedes ir
advantage.
a tu
That's
computadora
right.
y
And even, we saw it before, you can reshape the neutral sector. In fact, one of the things that we've been playing with is
Puedes ir a la
jump
combo
into
ya,
the neutral sector before you attack,
reclamar el drop.
reinforce where you need to, or open up where you need to, so that you actually lay the
Los he visto,
groundwork
sí, ya me lo
for
dieron.
the match to evolve.
So I did notice within these sectors, there are still default cameras that are up. And we've already talked about regenerative utility. Is that the same thing with barricades? If a team just is absolutely not attacking, they're more focused on defending, where they just immediately fell off, will those barricades come back up? Or is that through and through, once that destructibility is there, it's permanent?
Yeah, once the destructibility is going in place in the match, it's kind of the story of that match. So we allow that to be the permanent like beats that had happened throughout it. So if anything's being broken down, like we talked about the cheat code where you got a soft wall, maybe not reinforcing it right away is a good move. So you get that second layer of destruction happening. But once it gets direct, then you reinforce it. Now that's a second barrier to stall them out.
Josh has given that key intel for everyone listening, so you might want to take him up on that. There's a little tricks of the trade to this. Don't barricade right away. Wait for it to start being destroyed and then put it up.
Another interesting thing, though, when it comes to destruction, you'll see that the barricades are color-coded. And that's because the team that has their own color can tear it down. And so you can see a sector evolve over time as the new barricades of the attacking team come up, because now they're reinforcing it and the defenders have to recapture.
We've spent almost a decade of watching round by round things reset. It's a little bit odd to see persistent destruction in this game. So,
Solo que no veo
you'd see it in TDM from time to time when eventually, you know, a
la
map
destrucción, por ejemplo, de...
But not only do you see it now, but it plays a much bigger impact than it does in TDM, right? TDM is a fun game mode, but here there's much more strategy,
o no sé cómo chingados se dice.
and the way you go about it will only deepen people's understanding of how to play this game.
Que lo destruyes y se acabó, no han hecho ese tipo de destrucción ahorita. Una pipa de gas y no... Y explotaba, pero no han estado aquí los jugadores.
You are going to have to be so aware of the utility that is placed around the map, placed around the sector, because you don't know if it's yours. You don't know if it's the other team's. You always have to be on alert. So again, it adds such another core development and process that you're going to be going through while playing this 6v6 game mode of Dual Front.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just moments away from starting our last match of the day. Gentlemen, it's been great having you here, and I'm assuming you'll be riding along for that last one. But is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't seen
ya lo mostraron.
by any chance?
Actually,
para hacerlo un poco más interactivo, ¿no? Nomás me falta bajar Rainbow.
Because there are changes that are coming that you might have seen in Dual
Pues si
Front.
quieres lo
They're
jugamos,
coming to the entire game. So we'll be talking more about that very soon, actually.
Que de hecho, banda, ya empiezo
That's it.
a echarle más ganas ya a mi canal. Me he quedado dormido en los laureles, pero ya basta, ya sí quiero echarle ganas ya al canal. Ah, mira, ahí está la destrucción.
To those who wait. Our very last matchup of the day is upon us for Dual Front, at least. Team Skittles, who you heard from earlier, and Team Meaty Marley will do battle. Fun fact about both of these team captains, both of them started their careers hiding their identity, and we eventually got a Skittles face reveal, and now we know what Meaty Marley looks like. The question is, game. Will their gameplay be as handsome as they are?
Oh, yeah.
I think they will, but something that really sticks out with both these rosters, if you were to ask me, who do you think's the favorite here? I don't have one, for the simple fact that your boy Roy and Atheno look a little deflated in their biceps. I don't think they got their pumping for the day. So you're definitely going to have to rely on the 5 players, I should say,
Se metió en la camina,
pick
güey.
up the weight from both those two.
I have a slight suspicion as to what the devs were talking about.
Fuse.
Because they said there's something that we're changing in regular Siege that wasn't mentioned,
Fuse.
but it was briefly shown on the reveal video
no vi quién
before
era.
this. And then we saw what looked like a pipe on fire, which, as far as I'm aware, Gabriel, there's no operator who puts down explosive pipes.
No, there isn't, and I was curious of that too, because, I mean, you know, as chefs, we add tons of ingredients to our meals and for people to digest. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that ingredient is now being added into the gameplay that we all know and love in Siege. Again, we don't have operators that are laying down these pipes that can be shot. Is he going to shoot it? No, he's not going to shoot it. Unfortunately.
And as for what that quote-unquote ingredient might be, the devs will be talking about that later on. I do like that we have a big mix of players here.
¿Qué está haciendo? ¿Qué está haciendo, Dios mío? Oh, voy a ver allá, qué bonito. En vez de concentrarme en la partida.
You've got people who, as far as I'm aware, might not have ever
Yeah, I mean, Narcoleptic Nugget. He doesn't touch Siege. I mean, look at the gameplay right there. I know we know him from Siege, but I'm a little disappointed in his gameplay so far.
This was the man whose biceps you made fun of earlier.
Yeah, I know I'm going to regret it because, I mean...
Oof.
Do you think he could take you in a fight?
Yes, for sure. I mean, look at him. He's so locked in. Actually, I lied. He just missed that.
Well, through a wall.
Oh, what?
There are outlines on operators as well, because as you might have noticed on the top of the screen, the teams can run the same ops.
They can.
So you can have 2 vigils on the board at the same time. We saw in one of our earlier matches, there were 2 docks on the board. And outlines are very important to be able to distinguish, is it a friendly dock or is it an enemy dock?
Well, I mean, that's something that you're going to have to decipher, like I was saying, with the utility that's going to be on the map. You're going to have to keep in mind a mental awareness of, okay, we're seeing it right
What's
there.
this? No, Macy, get off drone!
See, he's not, you know, he's not appreciating. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, okay, so that's interesting. So, you know, we talked about operators not being able to lay anything like that, but in similarity to a Capital Bolt, similar to a Goyo canister, I mean, this creates a completely different new look and what we can see in Siege X.
This has been an interesting matchup between these 2 teams. They're playing it very slow, which is in stark contrast to the first game that we saw that had Uzi killing everybody in the server. Now, they talked a lot about this neutral sector, and it's coming in pretty quickly. Again, it can spawn at different intervals.
Oof.
This one in just under a minute, and it'll be only 9 minutes into action. Will these teams pay that neutral sector and the assignment that comes with it? The same respect that we saw from that Pengu and Spoit match.
Ese Fizz se los está chingando a todos.
Now, I am curious how long. Okay, so that flame actually does get put out pretty quickly.
It's not a Goyo canister.
No, it's not.
Goyo canister lasts 20 seconds. That looked like about 3.
I don't even think 3. Maybe like 2. But I think we could be wrong. I'll wait to see.
You're
if
gonna fight
anything.
with me over a single second?
No. Completely unrelated to what we were just about to talk about that we might see later on. But I mean, so far, this game mode is intense. There seems to be constant action no matter where you're looking, whether you are the one defending or you are the one attacking.
Now, speaking of, Alpha has to defend against a diffuser that's been put down while also dealing with the hostage objective in the middle of the map. That's the assignment that has spawned in. So you've got 6 players on your team. How many do you send to deal with that diffuser? And how many do you send to deal with the assignment?
That's the biggest thing. You know, if I'm in this situation, I'm sending at least 3. At least 3.
To which one?
To the neutral sector.
Ese Maverick.
One on
Está
one
bien
and
escondido.
2 on the other, so that way you are still covering all of your bases, covering those sectors, making sure not only you can defend, but you can still attack, but you can still go for that neutral sector. And they're trying to go. Okay, they did get it.
Varsity managed to pull it off.
I am curious if they know where to bring and extract the hostage here, whereas in the previous game they were unfamiliar, which I think it's going to be the exact same situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth noting that everybody who is playing this game has little to no experience with it.
I would have done the same exact thing if I wasn't playing with Joshua.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
again, it comes down to
Y ya valió.
fly and differing skill levels, differing platforms, etc. You will be able to get your hands on this beta for Dual Front later today. Again, link your Ubisoft Connect, link your Twitch account, and watch this stream or one of the partnered streams for about 30 minutes, and then you'll be in. You'll be able to play on PC and current gen consoles. Now, it looks like Skittles might be able to pull it off.
I think he's going to.
Funny because we listened to the on-boarder, the don't board the helicopter.
But
when
now
the
you're bored.
the literal opposite is the focus here.
I mean, it's up to that one Brit to shut this out right here and not make Skittles.
Se la dejó.
That was devastating right there. And now he's going to go for it. I mean, again, this is a beautiful thing, once again, is where you're not just focused on the sectors. You do have to focus on another objective, which is, again, it's so unique and it still allows you to be in control of any scenario at any given moment, to be able to shift, to rotate, to be elusive, that you can't just focus on one thing. You have to shift your focus in other places through and through, which again, for new players, old players, it allows you to constantly learn and adapt, which that's what Siege has been about for years.
And what you learn about this game mode is going to change very quickly.
Yes.
Assignments will be changing. Oh!
No, no, no.
Do it again, do it again!
I don't think they're capable of hearing us. But again, just to kind of underscore how this game mode will be supported, a season in Rainbow Six Siege is about 3 months, give or take, because we have 4 a year, just like regular seasons. Twice a season, the operator lineup will change, which means that for a lot of players, as you're finding your footing, things will shift. And then at the start of each new season, the assignment will change. Right now, it's rescue Dokkaebi, pick up the hostage, get her to the helicopter, save her, but who knows what's next? There's one thing that I've noticed that isn't present, and that's anything to do with secure area. If you look at the original 3 game modes of Rainbow Six Siege, you have the regular bomb, which is the whole premise of Dual Front. You have hostage, which is the special assignment, but where is secure area? Could it be coming next or coming at some point in future seasons?
Well, we're already getting something brand new with Dual Front, and it already being a heap loads of different things involved. So we could see an entirely different brand new mode introduced. Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Fusion está
I know what you
cabrón,
mean.
¿no?
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, everything's up in the air of what could be brought in.
And it allows the
Este güey, ¿qué onda de Q?
to toy
Estamos
with the
viendo
game
pues el nuevo modo de Rainbow, que trae nuevas animaciones, nuevos ambientes para destruir. El nuevo modo está interesantón. Habrá que jugarlo con los chavos.
But if you want to experiment, Dual Front is a great game mode where you can take those liberties and try out some new stuff. Just as right now, original Core Siege has influenced Dual Front, something could be cooked up for this game mode that is popular enough. Maybe one day down the line, we see it in the core game. Maybe not. This is us idly speculating. But again, it gives the devs a chance. It gives the devs a chance to talk about this new game mode.
Soy yo, la pantalla está oscura.
Of course.
Ah, caray, está oscura. ¿En qué sentido?
Dual Front with Fastan and Patricia.
Thank you.
No me espantes, por favor.
Hey, Fastan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm so excited to be here. The game's been a lot of fun. It's been great.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for letting me take the time to pick your brain. I actually wanted to ask you about strategy. How's the team strategy been? How's that evolving?
Well, our team's doing really good on the strategy front. I feel like, with the people that we're playing against, people said we were not going to stand a chance with some major winners against us or something like that. We played 2 games yesterday, 1 game today. All I want to say is we are 3-0 up in games because we are taking Dokkaebi as our win condition. If you get Dokkaebi and you extract her, you actually get 2/3 off a sector, and that's been helping us win 3 games in a row. It's been absolutely amazing so far.
Oh, amazing insight. Thank you so much, Fastan. Really appreciate your time being here. Can't wait for more gameplay.
Well, thank you so very much. And again, it's great to have everybody here under one roof playing this game, and we get to get real-time opinions on what we're watching, because we only get to see their perspective, but they get to play it, they get to experience it, and almost every single match played differently.
Yeah. Well, it goes into what I was saying. This is a brand new game mode. It's unexplored. Everyone is going to be approaching it entirely different, whether it's going to be here or you guys later once this all wraps up. It is an unfamiliar area for everybody. So again, there isn't going to be a meta just yet. Who knows? There might not even be a meta in general because there is many factors to take into here that we just have not seen throughout Siege's history.
And if you're new to this stream and just catching up to speed, the game mode we just watched, the new permanent 6v6 game mode coming to Siege X, is going to be playable later today. We'll be giving out beta keys to those who have their Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts linked together. So you can get the keys here, you can get it from the partnered streams as well. You just got to watch about 30 minutes, then you'll get access to the beta code. It'll go live when the show wraps up later today. But we've got Patricia ready yet again. As I said, this show's going to go quick. I didn't lie. Patricia, take it away.
Okay. No me espanten, chicos.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Intero and Laxing. How are you guys enjoying Dual Front? Pretty cool. You just heard them talking about some core gameplay updates that we will be revealing in the next segment. So all that's left is for me to set the stage. Please welcome back directors Alexander Karpazes and Christopher Budgeon.
Déjenos hablar.